Before I get into any sort of story today on the show, I want to let you guys know that, and I've been very open about this, I am very happy that CM Punk is back on AEW television. I just think he brings a different level to AEW television. Things are better when he's there. Everything just feels different when he's there. And they needed CM Punk back on television. They needed that shot in the arm because they weren't getting that before AEW Collision. Now, I think it's a pretty well-known, common understanding in the community that Dave Meltzer has some sort of problem. He's trying to push some sort of narrative against CM Punk being back on AEW television, as Punk has called out Dave Meltzer on several occasions, being that everything kind of revolved around Meltzer and Alvarez and Nick Hausman and the Dirt Sheet Riders. Punk called all of these individuals out at one point or another, multiple times within the last 9 months. Punk came back on Saturday night. Everybody was happy. And now all of the reports are that there is a major divide, even worse than it was before, in the AEW Locker Room. This is because of Punk's promo on Saturday night and because of the ESPN interview, which I don't know if you guys read, was as tame as a litter of baby kittens. There was nothing in that interview at all that was damning or, oh my God, here we go again. It was very, very straightforward and very tame. Now, the issues between those in AEW who like Punk and don't like Punk apparently have not improved, according to Dave Meltzer, because of the ESPN interview and his return promo on Saturday night on the debut of Collision. The promo came one day after the interview. We got the interview on Friday, and then we got the promo on Saturday night. All of this upset people in the promotion. In the promo on Saturday night, Punk said the line, and I quote, "You know what David Zaslav calls me? One Bill Phil. That's because I am the one true, genuine article in a business full of counterfeit bucks." End quote. I actually thought the line was quite humorous and creative, to be quite honest with you. Clearly, that was a shot at Matt and Nick Jackson. Now, as previously reported, those close to Punk expect him to appear on several shows moving forward. That includes Dynamite, which we saw last night, Collision, and The World Goes Round and Round. I'll get to that in a second. The Elite reportedly will not be appearing on the shows that CM Punk is on. Now, they were on the show last night, but I feel like it was a pre-taped segment. They were not in the building in Chicago, and Punk was also on the show as well, helping the Elite and Ricky Starks against Bullet Club Gold. Brandon Thurston and John Pollock of Post Wrestling have talked about this, citing Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer newsletter on things not improving within the promotion. One thing on the show, you know, one of the only people, one of the top guys, was told that we would not have to deal with Punk except for pay-per-view. And it's like, but here he is, says Dave Meltzer. Week 1, here he is. It's not like it's a surprise or anything. It's just, you know, these ideas change, or what people are told changes. People are kind of like, this is the company. It's a new company. That's all there is. You know, that's how people view it. It's a new company. As far as business-wise, what that means, we'll all find out, I guess. And as far as morale-wise, it depends on how Punk is. Punk needs to be monogamous with everybody. And I think you will probably try at least with most. But there's a lot of divisiveness that is so frustrating to me because I see it so closely and I feel it shouldn't be there. And you know, it's worse now than it has been. It hasn't gotten any better. Right now, it's at a pretty bad point again. Meltzer continued after being asked whether the promo made things worse. Yeah, he says. Nobody was really like, it's okay, it's whatever. And then the ESPN article came out, and that was the talk of the locker room on Wednesday, which led to a lot of issues. I am of the impression that people were expecting worse than it turned out to be. But you still have people who are the people who really like Adam Page who were not happy. And I think there's this feeling of everyone there is pretty much told, keep this stuff on the inside, that if it gets out, it's not good for the company, etc., etc. And then the feeling is that one side is agreeing to do that and the other side is not. But the thing is, on both sides, they think it's the other side. So it becomes a really weird thing, end quote. Why do articles like this come out? Why do quotes like this come out? Why do people feel the need to go on their platform after such a great show? I mean, I read an article this morning that cited Eric Bischoff stated on his own show, and I was shocked when I read this. Eric Bischoff said he took back every negative thing that he said about AEW in the last 12 months because he enjoyed AEW Collision so much and is looking forward to seeing the show prosper and thrive going into the future. He said the flow of the show was great. He didn't know whether it was Tony Khan or somebody else on his team that really made that decision. It felt different than all of the other AEW productions that he's seen. He went out there and glowingly praised the show. Yet we have Meltzer claiming that the locker room is worse than it was before with CM Punk being back. How can it be worse when CM Punk has only appeared in one locker room since Saturday with the Elite? Not even. He was in one locker room in Chicago on Saturday. The picture that you see in the thumbnail is with Andrade, which was taken backstage at Saturday's Collision. So clearly, by that picture alone with Andrade, the locker room is in shambles. Oh my goodness. And then he went to Dynamite on Wednesday and didn't share a locker room with the people that has a problem with him. I don't understand why stories like this get out. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about Dave Meltzer. I don't. I actually, at times, enjoy listening to Brian Alvarez very much. And Dave Meltzer. I think that they bring a different take than other people in the community. A lot of people don't really understand where they're coming from time to time. I think that they are very good at times when they break down the product and they are honest when it comes to like the WWE type of thing. But this CM Punk situation really has me befuddled as to why he's thrown this kind of dirt out there. I don't know if he's thick-headed or if he's just blatantly stupid, because everybody on Saturday night, from the ESPN interview and then on into Saturday night with the promo that CM Punk cut in the first 10 minutes of Collision, I'll tell you this, I didn't get any sense of, oh my God, here we go again. Dave Meltzer is being worked. Everybody that has a problem with this is being worked. I don't understand how you don't see it. From the David Zaslav line to the counterfeit Bucks line to the fact that he said the king is back and nobody could lace his boots and nobody can fill his boots, and then him bringing out the red sack with the AEW world title in it that he never lost. Everything was a setup for what is to come with CM Punk. This promo was approved by management. Why would they allow it to happen again? Everything that was said was approved by management. The Bucks are a part of management. So clearly, they must have been in the know about it. Most of them knew whatever was going to be in that interview, or at least most of the interview. They were okay with it. They allowed it to air. They allowed it to be published. Was there something else in there that was cut out? We'll never know. But from what we read, it was as tame as a fucking baby kitten. There was nothing in there that was damning, that would say, oh my God, here we go again. It's all out media all over again. I don't get it. CM Punk signed legal papers. CM Punk had to sign legal papers that were delivered to him by AEW Legal so that this shit doesn't happen again. I don't understand how many other precautions AEW needs to take to prevent this from happening again if Punk is going to explode one of these days. This is not that time. Punk is back for a couple of reasons. One, he loves it. He wants to be back. Clearly, he wants to make money as well. But he wants to be back. He wants to help the company. He apologized to those that matter. He wants to apologize to the Young Bucks. Their legal side will not allow them to speak. I feel like we're being worked. I really do. All of this screams work, and Meltzer is playing it off as, oh my God, it's the end of the fucking world in the AEW locker room. Give me a break. None of what Meltzer is saying is happening. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Is there a possibility that there could be another blow-up? Sure. But this is not it. It's always seemingly the case when AEW has a great show and CM Punk is a part of it, and there's good news coming to AEW that somebody's got to throw a fucking dart and pop that balloon. I don't like it. Meltzer's being worked. Everybody's being worked. I don't understand. And if you have a problem with whatever CM Punk said, it was approved by management, by the people who matter, that run this show, that run this company. If you have a problem with it, stop fucking crying and get to work. Start making money. Let's do business. Enough of your fucking childish bullshit when it comes to CM Punk. He's ready to do business. Why isn't the other side ready to do business? Get over yourselves. AEW Collision. The ratings are in, and I was actually slightly disappointed in the AEW Collision rating. They drew 816,000 on Saturday night with an 18-49 demo of 0.33. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about the rating. I actually expected closer to 1 million, but it is summer. People are out enjoying themselves. They would rather not watch wrestling on a Saturday night. But 816,000 on a Saturday night and an 18-49 demo with a 0.33 rating, I would say that Warner Brothers Discovery is very, very pleased with what had happened there on Saturday night. And if they can keep that up on a Saturday night with a high demo in the threes like that, I don't think AEW Collision should be looked at as a failure. Warner Brothers Discovery is happy. That's all that matters. Why? Because they're paying the fucking bills. They're keeping the lights on, and that's all that matters. Do they like it? That's it. Tony Khan should be pleased with that number. Absolutely. I was expecting a little bit more for a debut show. I know AEW's debut show for Dynamite did 1.4 million, but looking at this in comparison, almost, half of that went missing here with the AEW Collision debut. It's a Saturday night. It's a tough time slot. UFC was actually on opposing AEW on Saturday night. And it's only going to get worse. But I said if they can continue to produce the show that they did on Saturday night moving forward, on a consistent basis moving forward, I think we should really sit down and say fuck the ratings and just enjoy professional wrestling on a Saturday night. You, as a casual fan, should not be bothered by what the ratings are and what the demos are. Let Warner Brothers Discovery worry about that. Your job is to enjoy what these men and women are doing on a Saturday night. But I was a little taken back by the 816,000. I was expecting 900, 950, closer to 1 million, but we didn't get that. Regardless, I do think that the rating on Saturday night was a good number. And CM Punk, by the way, is a draw. If you guys remember the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto that's housing the AEW Collision show on Saturday night, at one point or another, just a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, they were looking at 800 to 900 tickets sold for that show. CM Punk showed up on Saturday night for Collision, and that show now on Saturday, this coming Saturday, is completely sold out. So all the narrative about CM Punk not being a draw, he is absolutely a draw and a major draw for AEW, which is the reason why he will be showing up on Dynamite when Tony Khan wants him to. I've seen some people claiming to me, oh, well, why doesn't he stay on his show? He's a Collision guy, right? He even said it on Dynamite last night. This man has been away for 9 months. He is by far and away the biggest draw in the company. He's the biggest star that they have, and no one even comes close. Why would you not want him to be on Dynamite? Why would you not want him to be everywhere? Not everywhere. I don't want him to be overexposed, but you guys get what I'm saying. He should be everywhere for that company this summer. They've been without him for 9 months, and they need a return on their investment. This man is making upwards towards $4 or $5 million a year to do this thing called pro wrestling. Get over it. I was expecting more with the Collision rating, but if they continue to produce shows like they did on Saturday night, I'm not going to give a shit what the fucking rating is, and neither should you. And finally, guys, Shad and Tony Khan reportedly are interested in buying Bellator MMA. This is coming from Ariel Helwani. Apparently, Bellator MMA Scott Coker recently confirmed that the company is for sale and they have been in talks with suitors. Ariel Helwani said today on the MMA Hour, or yesterday rather, that he has heard about multiple players being interested. He says, and I quote, "I know that PFL was one of those players that looked into them." Helwani said that PFL backed out, but they are back in the mix as a potential buyer. He also said that Liberty Media and the Khan family have looked into them. He added, to what degree? Nobody knows. When I'm talking about the Khan family, I'm talking about Shad and Tony Khan, end quote. Bellator MMA is considered the number 2 promotion in MMA behind UFC. Most of their shows air on Showtime, but they have struggled to gain enough traction where they could be considered a real threat to the UFC. Perhaps that would change if the Khans or PFL buy them out. Listen, if Tony Khan wants to go and buy Bellator MMA, then, listen, he can do whatever he wants with his money. He's got his father's backing in it, too. So it must be a serious thing if his father is getting in bed with the rest of the suitors, the potential buyers for MMA. Now, Tony Khan already has a lot on his plate. Who would be running Bellator MMA? That obviously is the biggest question coming from me, as he already has so much to do with AEW, and he's running AEW, Dynamite, Collision, Ring of Honor, Rampage, everything AEW related. Who's going to run Bellator MMA if the Khan family ends up buying them out? I don't know. What kind of investment is it going to be? Where are they going to take the company? Are they going to be able to take it to the next level? Are they really going to try and make it a viable threat to the UFC? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's just a bunch of billionaires throwing their money around, and they want to saddle their playground with as many different toys as possible. That's the only way. That's one of the biggest takeaways from a story like this. All these billionaires got so much money to throw around. Hey, I want this new toy, Dad. Can we go out and buy this one? Sure, son. What are they going to realistically do with it? Is anything going to be a threat to the UFC? Probably not. I mean, same thing with WWE. Is AEW ever going to be a threat to WWE? In some little instances, they're a threat to WWE, but they're never going to be a company that overtakes WWE. WWE is here, and AEW is so far a distant second, it's not even funny. Same thing would be with Tony Khan and Shad Khan buying Bellator MMA. The way I see it, it would be a little bit of an ego hurt as far as buying Bellator. He's number 2 to WWE. He's number 2 to Vince McMahon, number 2 to Triple H, and he's going to be number 2 to Dana White. Tony Khan, does he want to be known as the number 2 guy? Seriously, just work on what you got now and try to make it the best thing possible. And don't overload yourself, overwork yourself, and overflow your plate with so many different tasks and things. I don't know, man. It's a weird story. Who knows? I'm not an MMA guy. If Tony Khan wants to go buy UFC or MMA, rather Bellator MMA, go spend your money on it. I don't really care one way or another. I found it to be an interesting story, at least to throw into the mix here with the rest of the AEW news that's been going around the last 48 hours. Anyway, we're about to get out of here, man. I appreciate you all for stopping by. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out. I'm looking for 1,000 likes minimum today on OTS. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And I will be back live with you on Friday night, right after SmackDown, right here from the OTS venue. If you guys missed any of the other content, plenty of it on the homepage. Go and check it out. And follow me on social media at JD from NY206. It is Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Guys, I'll have more news throughout the day going on into Friday, and I'll see you live right here from the venue on Off the Script.